Hello everyone, you're watching PC Helper and welcome to another video in the Python 3.9 tutorial series. If by the end of this video you feel like you have learned something today, then please leave a like and also don't forget to subscribe to PC Helper for regular content. So in the last video we talked about a very important concept of flexible arguments, and we took this example as you can see on your screen right now that we wanted to add a few numbers. And we do not want to specify that how many arguments we want to give. It just totally depended on the user that how many inputs the user wanted to give. So if the user wanted to add 4 numbers, he could add 4 numbers. If the user wanted to add 2 numbers, they can add 2 numbers. But the thing was, the user did not give any input. We ourselves were giving inputs and the number of arguments we wanted to add. So if we wanted to add 5 arguments, let's say, and then we executed the program, then 5 numbers were added. So it was totally dependent on us that how many inputs we wanted to give. But if in the same case we want to take user input, then the things get a bit more complicated. So in this video we'll be talking about that only. So we'll be talking about how we can take user input as a list and how we can unpack a list as an argument. So now let's get started. So let's continue with this example only. So first of all, I'll be teaching you how you can use a list as an argument, and then I'll be teaching you how you can take user input as a list. And then we'll be combining these two concepts and executing this program. So first of all, let's make a list name, let's say list1, and let's make a list of numbers that we want to add. So let's say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60. So we want to add all these numbers. So we already have a function for adding all these numbers, but this time we have to pass this list as an argument. So there are actually two ways to do that. So first one is the one where you can simply just write the name of your list and use indexing. So it will take list1's 0th index as the first argument, list1's first index as the second argument, and so on. You can do it like this. So let's only take 3 arguments. So list1's second index. So this will be adding 10, 20 and 30. So when I will execute this program, the answer is 10 plus 20 plus 30, which is 60, as you can see on your screen right now. But don't you think it would consume a lot of time if, let's say, we have a list of 50 numbers? So to eliminate this problem, we have a really simple trick. All you have to do is you have to just write this asterisk sign, or we can say a star sign, and then write the name of your list. It will just unpack your list slowly. What it would do is, it will just first of all unpack the 0th index of your list and use it as the first argument. Then it will unpack the first index of your list and use it as the second argument. Then it will unpack the second index of your list and use it as the third argument, and so on. So it will just use your list as an argument, but one index at a time. So now when I will execute this program, I've executed this program and the output is 210. So 10 plus 20 is 30, 30 plus 30 is 60, 60 plus 40 100, 100 plus 50 150, and 150 plus 60 is 210. So we simply used a list as an argument. So now you know how you can unpack a list as an argument for a function. And now we'll be talking about how you can take a list as an input from the user. So to do so, first of all, let's take an empty list. So now list1 is an empty list. And now first of all, we want to take input from the user, that how many inputs the user wants to give. So for example, if the user wants to give 5 inputs, then he can just enter 5. If the user want to add, let's say 10 in numbers, he can just enter 10. So for this, we will make a variable named num, which would be equal to num is equals to input, and we can simply write how many numbers you want to add. As simple as that. And now we have to make a for loop after defining this empty list. So now we will make this for loop for j in range, and the range would be equal to this variable. So if the user wants to add 5 numbers, so the range will be 5 numbers. If the user wants to add 10 numbers, then the range will be 10 numbers. So now the range will be equal to num, and we have started a for loop. So now in this list, first of all, we have to make a quick change. This num should be an integer, so we have to write int input instead of just input here. And now inside this loop, we'll be using a predefined method of a list, which is append. And append is used to add a value at the end of your list. So this is an empty list. So the first value that we'll be adding would be the first value, then the second value, then the third value. So simply write the name of your list, which is list1 in this case, and write dot append. And if we want to enter a value 55, so simply we write 55. But in this case, we want to take user input. So we'll use int input, and now here enter your number. As simple as that. Now let's take a look what is happening here. So first of all, we have a function which is used to add two numbers with flexible number of arguments. Then we asked the user to enter how many numbers the user wants to add. Then we made an empty list, and then we made a loop of range num, and num is equal to the numbers that the user wants to add. So if the user wants to add 4 numbers, he can add 4 numbers. If he wants to add 5 numbers, he can add 5 numbers. Then we used append to add the value the user will input one by one. And now we will have a list. So first of all, before calling this function, we just have to see if this is working, if this for loop is working or not. So we will print the list one by one. So let's print, the name of our list is list1. So now when we will execute this program, first of all, it will ask us how many numbers we want to add. So let's enter 4. And now we have to enter a number. So first of all, let's add 1. So now our list has one number. Now we will enter the second number, which is 5. Now our list is 1 and 5. Now we will enter the third number, let's say 55. So now this is our list, and the last number would be, let's say 88. So this is our list 1, 5, 55 and 88. So now we have a list of numbers, and the input of this list was given by the user only. In the starting of this video, we already learned that how we can use a list as an argument for a function. So now all we have to do is we just have to call this function, use asterisk sign, and give our list a name list1. And now when we will execute this program, it will ask us how many numbers we want to add. So first of all, let's add 5 numbers. Enter your number 10, then let's say 20, let's say 30, 40 and 50. And then it gives 150 as an output, which is the addition of all these numbers. And one last thing that we can do to make our program look good is that we can just simply remove this line where we are printing the list every time the for loop runs. And now when we will execute this program, it will just simply ask how many numbers you want to add. So let's say 3 numbers. Now enter the numbers, let's say 8, 5, 6, and the output is 19. As simple as that. We learned a lot in this video. First of all, we learned how we can pass a whole list as an argument by just using the name of the list and this asterisk sign. And then we learned how we can take a list as an input from the user. And then we used it to make this cool program. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any doubt, you can write in the comment section. If you like this video, then please leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one.